Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to Top Tier Arcade. My name is Steve, and we're back in the car because we're going back on tour. And this time we're going to be going to the Denizen Hall in downtown Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Now, I was referred this by my pinball guys because they said if you're ever in Edmonton, you got to check out this, bar/arcade or barcade. And it turns out we went to visit my brother-in-law and his kids and his girlfriend, and my wife's with me as well there. And she, and she wanted to come along. So we're just about to hit up downtown Edmonton. We just came from the Edmonton Mall, the West Edmonton Mall, which was awesome. It's like the biggest mall in North America. Has, roller coasters inside. It has a whole water park. It has like a, huge dining area. It's amazing. It's humongous. It has every restaurant. And that was really cool. And I was told, there's a place close, which is around 20 minutes from the West Edmonton Mall. It's beside the Rogers Place, which is, where the sporting events or big concerts happen, right downtown. It's around 20, not even, you could see it right where the parking is, so it's very close. Now, my guys are like, look, the games there are tight. There are the current ones. There's a lot of good arcade machines, but they weren't sure. The games are kept very tight as far as the flippers are new. It plays well. There's no broken plastics. It's perfect. So hopefully that turns out great. We're going to sit there and eat as well, and also check out the arcade machines. So let's head up to the Denizen Hall. I've heard a lot of great things, and apparently they even hold tournaments there as well with both pinball, some arcade thing, but mainly pinball, and they do all right. But all right, guys, so enough of that. Let's check out the Denizen Hall and see what's up. All right, so here we are walking down to Denizen Hall. Like I said, in the car, we're gonna do a quick review of it. And my wife and my brother-in-law are already in there. And now I didn't bring my my tripod or even selfie stick that I do usually on the road. But you know what? Good enough. Let me just show you the front of it. So we're in downtown Edmonton. There it is here. So the Denizen Hall. The good thing with this, if you ever come, there's parking right there. And there's the new Rogers Place, which is really cool. So if you ever wanted to come before or after a game or whatnot, there's parking right there, and we can go in. Now, I've already talked to the owner. They said, or the worker, they said you can go ahead and film. So let's check out the Denizen Hall. All right, old bar saloon. So like any other hall or kind of tavern, and there's a lot of room here. The food's actually really good. I've heard the food's really, really good. Again, full bar like anything else. And TVs and everything else. They do have live music here. Come the weekends and come the, like Friday nights and whatnot. So beautiful hall. Now, we'll get into the game in just a sec. So on the left there's where the live band would play. And we might as well start it off there because that's where one of the first games are. But yeah, it's actually happy hour. They just told us it's half price beer and appetizers, so that's always good. So Big Buck 100 Wild HD is really nice. We'll come around to the newer games. Now it takes tokens, not quarters, so that's why they have an ATM, so we'll take tokens. First game we're gonna have here is I think it's a there it is. It's a Super Alpine Racer, one of the newer type games that you'll see in like a Dave & Buster's. The owner said that does okay, and it's funny when people are drunk. This is the new Pac-Man Battle Royale. It does very well, especially with females. They were saying this does very well. This one's newer. And here Jesus Christ. Here's where it gets interesting. So look at this. They have a Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It's in a big blue cab. So that was actually very interesting to see. Behind me here, it's the Street Fighter 2 World Warrior. I don't know what cabinet this is. I'm not sure which cab that's in, but World Warrior. Here we have a Champion Sprint. This one is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Apparently that gets a lot of play as well. Neo-Geo 4-slot. Beautiful monitor when I walked in. And yes, the actual the LE the buttons work, so that's very amazing monitor. That looks great. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 and HS5 cab. Plays pretty well. That's the original Donkey Kong there. Go to this side. It's San Francisco Rush, the Alcatraz Edition Dual. Behind me is the NBA Showtime NBA 4-player. Next is the Simpsons 4-player original cab. Looks really nice. Next is the Super Chex Hockey. I guess they have them in the Edmonton Oilers, which is the Edmonton hockey team, and looks like the Calgary Flames, which is the Calgary hockey team. So you know, the next city over, or major city. The X-Men 4-player looks really, really nice. So looks good on that. We'll go around this way just because some people are playing. So we have Dungeons and Dragons, Shadow over Mystara, great game. Very smart because they have a lot of 4-player games. WrestleFest, which I love, my favorite wrestling game. 4-player on that. Here they have a turtle. So that's the turtles in a dedicated turtle cab. I don't want to bother the guy playing. In that corner they have the Play Choice 10. We'll see that maybe a little later on. They have the Ghostbusters pin, Batman 66 pin. There's my wife. WrestleMania, WWE WrestleMania. That's a newer Stern LE. There's also Miss Pac-Man in a dedicated cab. Looks really good. Hi there. We also have Star Wars Trilogy arcade, so that looks to be, that's the same one Francesco has. Monitor on this is a little yellowed, so that's fine. And here's the pinball row. Again, we'll go back individually. So pinball row, they have Metallica, looks really nice. They have Game of Thrones. We have the Iron Man. Star Trek.
We do not know.
We have the Spider-Man, that's the Vault Edition. Now a few of these I haven't played. I have not played Spider-Man. I played everything else. Maybe I'll play WrestleMania again. I played it once before, not too often. Maybe I want to go. And now the thing is, we'll keep going here. Here's the turtles that I didn't get before. And then here's the Play Choice 10. Now Play Choice 10, I haven't gone through which games they have. I know they have R-Type. I saw Contra. There's a Donkey Kong dedicated, which is nice. And again, here's that Mortal Kombat 3. So while I look around here, you know what? I was talking to the bartender. Let me just go somewhere it's a little more quiet. I was talking to the bartender, and he was saying that one of the general manager is usually the one that picks the games. And I was complimenting him, saying that he's done a very smart job of getting a lot of games that people play. Now, usually for bars, 4 players are the way to go because they have, beat 'em ups. They have more players to play. So having X-Men, having the Simpsons, having NBA show, and I think they have Blitz. This is an actual Blitz as well. Having both of these is very smart. And then also having a really good, good selections of racers, and then common games and even fighters is very surprising. You know what? Even the 4 slot which is, you know, Metal Slug S, Bust a Move, Samurai Showdown 5, and King of the Fighters 98. I was asking the bartender, and I'm like, whoever picked these games are very strategic because they're very smart games to have in bars. A lot of them are easy to play, competitive, and also just current. I mean, look at the pinball lineup. You know, have a lot of new pins. I mean, Batman 66 is really expensive. I mean, there's a lot of good games here, and not only, but they're really nice. We had the food before we got in, and we asked. It's really good. Good bar food. Actually, very, very good prices compared to Toronto as well. So you know what, and they're pretty decently priced as well. Usually for games like this is 1 credit, and then usually for pin it's 2, which either is, you know, 50 cents for a credit or, you know, $1 a game. I'm not sure how they have them, but 2 credits usually is for the pins, and then 1 credit is for, you know, the vids. But again, I just can't get over how beautiful this monitor looks. You know, and the EL papers work. Very, very surprising, because usually they're dead. Headphones, I asked, they said they work. But yeah, man, they do very, very well. Is that a glow stick? But yeah, let me just quickly do another quick detour. But yeah, man, this very well strategic. The only, you know what I would do? So just say I own this. I mean, I have this, but I have the Japanese version. I would do, instead of this game, I'd have Super Sprint. That's great. That's perfect. You know, I would have Mortal Kombat 2. It's a little easier to play. But I mean, everything else is, damn it. They have whoever did this is very smart, or you know, super lucky when it comes to picking games and what works. Because they're saying that, yeah, they do very well. They do switch games, they said, every maybe 3 to 2 months if it's not doing well. But recently, they're saying this lineup has been pretty solid. And a lot of people play, again, games like this. So is my brother-in-law and my wife playing. So again, smart games, you can pick, very just intelligent, smart collection, and it's very airy. You know, you can walk through, and as far as, you know, there's a good, you know, 5 feet between games. So when it comes to picking your actual, you know, game and playing, and they're saying when it gets busy in here, there's still minimal like bumping or anything. It's smart. Now this table's not supposed to be here, but it's smart because look at this table they have here. I mean, it's smart because they have a little table there to lay your beers on, and then even here as well, you know, there as well to lay your beer, and then here as well, and even for the pin, which is very, very smart. Star Wars, you know, again, they have it in the corner. It's you know, it's the best they can do it here. But you know what? All you need is one hand, so you don't have to really play with the control. So very strategically, very smart when it comes to just nostalgia, old games, racing games, beat 'em ups, and fighting games alike. Actually, out of all the beat 'em ups, either I wanted the X-Men 6 slot or even a WrestleFest, because I remember this when I was a kid and I really enjoyed it. But again, we'll see. But again, beautiful pins, and not only that, apparently I asked how it works with who runs the game. So the word is, the older games, they have an arcade tech. The newer games out there, like the Pac-Man, and he's thinking that the guys for the pins, so the guys with the pins and with the Pac-Man is different than what it would be for, you know, for the older games, because with the new guys, it could be under the Starburst. I'm pretty sure it's under Starburst that does it. He wasn't very sure, but it would make sense because a lot of people do that because they're a bigger company. Because having something like this would be a lot more expensive, and especially like this. So what a great place! What a really great place. You know, it's very chill. Everyone's really cool, and I'm not just saying that. Very nice. And the games are extremely well strategic, like I said. The prices are very fair, and the atmosphere is very cool. I mean, just so you know, it's a nice bar. And again, it's right close to downtown. Like, it's dead center downtown. You ever want to go to a game, you ever want to go to a sporting event or a music event, it's right here. And there's actually parking, which is beautiful, literally across the street, and it's actually pretty decent as well. So you not only can you walk here, you can walk to your sporting event because it's just down the street. And it's cool because the Super Checks, they just changed the characters, because normally it should be like Russia versus US, or US versus Canada, or Canada versus Russia, whatever. And that does really well in a hockey town, so that does very well. So let's go out, and I'll wrap it up just as a quick walkthrough, and a great selection of beer, and very friendly staff. They're really cool, and it's very safe. Apparently, all the riffraff, they try to get out by eliminating different type of gaming or crowds as well. Another interesting thing, while we head away outside, is I asked the bartender, and I asked him, hey, I'm surprised you guys don't have a pool table. Oh, good, it stopped raining. I asked him, I'm surprised you guys don't have a pool table. And he says to me, they did have a pool table before, but it actually caused a certain crowd to come in, and that would cause a lot of issues, people flying balls on purpose, and overall that crowd, he said, was very dangerous. And apparently there's bars down the street, which I've never been, so I can't judge, that said that, yeah, they have pool tables, but there's just a different crowd. And they wanted to get away from that because he was causing too much trouble. Not to mention that it took up a lot of real estate in the bar. So when it's a dance club, they'd have to either move it, or people would dance around it. They'd put their beer on it, or they'd just stand and sit on it and just kill the cloth. So they got rid of it. What else was he saying? Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Great place, very, very chill. Food's great. I mean, I ate and it was very inexpensive, especially at happy hour. And again, right downtown. Here's the hours. You guys want to see the? No, it's not the greatest here with the glare. So there's the Denizen Hall. Now I'm gonna have the description. In the description below, I have the details of the bar, when it's open, and its address. If you're ever downtown Edmonton, it's beautiful. If you ever we just actually came from the West Edmonton Mall, which is like the biggest mall, I think, in Canada, or maybe like North America. I can't remember, but that was a ride, man. That was actually very fun as well. They had a few games. They just had, like, again, a couple of shooters, but older. I think they had one pinball. They had Avatar, but it was nothing. But again, that's the Rogers Place. If you're ever downtown, so at the mall, if you're ever close to the West Edmonton Mall, and you want to check out a really nice bar that has arcade and pinball machines, it's around a 20-minute drive to 20-minute drive from the West Edmonton Mall. If you're ever there, you can always scoop by, and if you're downtown, have a drink, have some food to come. But yeah, these guys were really, really cool. But yeah, guys, that's going to pretty much wrap it up. That's all the information I was able to get from them. Again, the bartender said, as far as when I look at it, a lot of people just play every game. He said there's not really any games that are not being occupied. A lot of competition. He said it's been pretty safe, not people fighting or whatever. Very fun, very competitive, and it's a great place. So guys, thanks again for checking out Top Tier. If you haven't had the chance, please subscribe. I'd appreciate it. There's a lot more coming up this year, which should be very exciting. And again, restores and everything coming up, and hopefully a pickup in the months to come. But we'll check. We'll see. We'll check it out and see what happens. But again, it's been a pleasure, and thanks for checking out Top Tier. Peace. So as a little bonus, I was going to think there's an actual arcade in the Edmonton airport. It's called the Zone Arcade. One of the ladies actually asked me that they have one. So just quick bonus here, why not? This is at the Edmonton airport, just after customs. They have a stacker, change machine, a second stacker with little trinkets and whatnot, a claw machine that is severely depleted. Behind me there is a Guitar Hero there. There's a photo booth thing, and then Keymaster, again, more kind of redemption. Boxer Champion, little things. You know what? A nice selection of pins, surprisingly. They have a Rolling Stones. I'm gonna play one later. I'm gonna play Indiana Jones. I don't think I've ever played this one. I played the old Williams one. Indiana Jones, that's the newer Stern one. Star Trek, who I'm seeing everywhere now. And Iron Man. So not too bad. A little bonus for you guys. It's just, I asked that for fun, and the lady's like, yeah, there's a little arcade. I'm like, what? My wife's like, okay, we have a little time if you want to play. So guys, that's the Zone Arcade in the Edmonton airport. If you ever want to blow a few hours, I mean, or just a little bit, you have a little entertainment here. All right, again, thanks for checking out Top Tier. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. More coming, and it's been a pleasure. All the best. Peace.